Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside the guys, Anthony Floyo and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we're just going to dive right on into the show. And we're going to start it here. We had Ilya Dragunov going one-on-one with Trick Williams. When it was all said and done, winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 7 seconds was Ilya Dragunov. Solid opener. Very good match. Uh, a lot of people knows how much I love Ilya Dragunov, especially from NXT UK. I'll even openly admit it. His fight with Walter for the United Kingdom title to me was fight of the year worthy and should have been named fight of the year just a couple of years ago. But at the end of the day, another banger by Ilya Dragunov, a strong opener for him. And Trick Williams, even though in defeat, probably one of his personal best matches that he's had in NXT. But without a doubt, it was a banger. 3.5 stars for me. Anthony Florio, come on in, my friend. Ilya Dragunov wins it in 13:07.
3.5 stars. This was easily the best match of Trick's career. Throughout the contest, he looked like a competitor who could go for gold without Carmelo Hayes. More importantly, he made it clear he is ready to make a quick move to the main roster when Melo jumps. Ilya Dragunov is a special performer, and he did not lose any of his mystique by giving Williams some run. In the end, though, this match was always in the Czar's bag. NXT is waiting for the right moment to give us one last Dragunov-McDonough match, and it has the potential to be one of the best of the year. Stand and deliver, anyone? Trick talked the talk before his match, warning Dragunov about the pain he would inflict upon him in their match. McDonough arrived halfway through the match to join Vic Joseph and Booker T on commentary. Williams went for a spinning kick, but the Czar caught him, planted him with a powerbomb, and then nearly knocked him out with a forearm to the floor. And Carmelo Hayes congratulated Trick on his performance and warned Tyler Bate to stay away from the NXT Championship. So there isn't much more for me to say on this. I agree with MF's rating. 3.5 stars. I'll go as far as to call this the fight of the night, honestly. So there isn't much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, the outcome never in doubt. We all knew Dragunov was going to win, but credit to Trick Williams, easily the best match of his career so far. Bullock, okay.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is definitely the best match from Trick Williams up to this point. I mean, this was definitely the fight of the night. I mean, 3.5 stars. Yeah. I mean, you definitely got to give credit to Trick Williams. I mean, he definitely gave Ilya Dragunov some fits, and and basically he was warned by Carmelo Hayes to stay away from the NXT Championship. But then again, I mean, who's going to tell that tough bastard Ilya Dragunov what he can and can't do? So we'll wait and see how it all goes. So there's really nothing more for me to say on this one. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right. Yes, indeed. We will indeed move on. And the next thing that we had a lot of promo stuff, so I'm not going to really get into that. But what we had was the Dryad. They went up against Chase U, Andre Chase, and Duke Hudson. And when it was all said and done, it was the Dyad winning the match in 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Solid 3 stars. This was a delightful tag team match that continues to build a legacy of Chase U. Duke Hudson and Andre Chase have found their chemistry as a tag team, and it showed going up against one of NXT's best tandems. Schism needed to win here to further build the rivalry. Until Chase, Hudson, and Thea Hale can find their focus, Joe Gacy's group will continue to dominate them. It was odd that Tyler Bate got caught up in this. His involvement was unnecessary, even if it was to set up his match with Joe Gacy for next week. Hudson grabbed the leg of Reed to set up Chase to hit him with an enziguri, and then Hudson booted him straight into a super kick from Andre Chase. And then Thea Hale could be heard throughout the arena screaming at rain to keep away. The audience was loud throughout, more so than usual, even for a Chase U match. And then after the match, Hudson told Chase he needed to let Hale grow up and walk out, and walked out. So, solid 3 stars for the effort here. And that's really not much more for me to say on this. Michael Bullock, first thought that went into my mind, I don't know why, but I was thinking possible 8-person mixed tag with Tyler Bate and Chase U going up against the Schism, possibly down the line. Maybe at Roadblock or at Stand and Deliver, but I don't know. But solid match nonetheless. 3 stars for this effort.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid match. I mean, yeah, I'll give it about an even 3 stars as well. So, I mean, yeah, I could see a possible mixed tag somewhere down the line, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see as we continue the build to Stand and Deliver. So it could happen with that, or maybe on a future NXT. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, Schism really is getting into the head of Chase U, because it seems like Duke Hudson and Andre Chase are in disagreement, and Duke Hudson said that Andre Chase needs to let Thea Hale grow up, but I don't know. I mean, something tells me that Duke Hudson and Andre Chase could be heading towards a potential breakup because of the disagreements that have been going on lately with these two. So we'll wait and see what develops with that. So there's really nothing more to say. It is yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And unfortunately, I think it's because of Thea. I think Thea has been more of a problem than she's been more of a liability and a problem than a helper and somebody that you can rely on or trust. Just honestly to say, and I get it with Duke Hudson and where he's coming from, but Andre Chase has to nip that sucker in the butt, or else we're gonna have some major problems in Chase U. So I mean, we'll wait and see how it comes out. I thought it was all right for what it was worth, but next up we had was a couple of other promo stuff and whatnot. Well, we had ourselves was Indy Hartwell versus JC Jane. JC Jane won the match in 5 minutes and 6 seconds due to a disqualification because Gigi, she showed up. She was looking for retribution. She was not going to take that stuff lying down what happened on Ding Dong Hello. And yeah, she came back coming and firing on all cylinders, man. So Michael Bullock, it's yours. JC Jane won the match by DQ in 5 minutes and 6 seconds.
I'll give it about maybe 1.5. I mean, I thought it was all right. I mean, definitely could have been a lot better. I'll say that. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Gigi Dolan is back, and yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with this when the 2 former Toxic Attraction members go at it. And I think I know the perfect place for that to go down. Stand and Deliver. I think this is where where Gigi and JC will finally settle the score once and for good, to see who was the best when it comes to that famous faction known as Toxic Attraction. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Solid match, and I get it. Short for our liking, I obviously get that, and I don't mind the interference. Sometimes we frown and poo-poo over interference stoppages and whatnot, but this was actually necessary. This had to be done, in my honest opinion. And yeah, I thought they did an all right job with it. I'll give it the 1.5. I totally agree with where you were going with it, Michael Bullock. So, I mean, all it just did was it prolonged the storyline, and I get it. I know a lot of people were not really too thrilled about, JC Jane, they thought she should have gotten a win here, but I don't mind that it was a DQ finish because obviously, you don't want to. You knew that there had to be some retribution. There had to be a retaliation after how Gigi got embarrassed, and I mean, like the way they did that storyline, it made you sympathize with Gigi, and on top of that, it also served the purpose to us that hey, she needs to get some payback. What happened here was messed up. Well, sure enough, we got the retribution. So yeah, now on upward and onward we go, and the next possible event, you said it. I mean, you could go. There is a roadblock event before WrestleMania, but I think if you're gonna do this correctly, then obviously you have to do it at Stand and Deliver. Florio, your thoughts?
1.5 for the match. Before Gigi Dolan's arrival, this was not much of a match. It was fine, but hardly felt like the showcase JC Jane needed to stand out as a single star. However, the crowd reaction for the return of Gigi Dolan was enough to elevate the segment. These two have chemistry that was built over years as a tag team. They will need to translate the singles action fast in order to earn a big spot on a forthcoming major NXT show. Hartwell caught Jane with a series of strikes and then a spine buster for a near fall. That was really the only real highlight of this match, but it was more about the post-match, really, and we're going to get those two one-on-one, and I think that's going to happen at Stand and Deliver. That's just how I feel about it. Maybe there could be a pick your poison type scenario during the build to it. So that's really all I can say on it. So 1.5 for this, and Dolan and Jane, Stand and Deliver. You heard it here first. That's how I feel. So let's move on.
All right. With that said, we move on. Indeed. Next up that we have on the show was... Oh, all right. Okay. Next up we had in the matchups Gallus versus Malik Blade and Idris Analfi. And it was Gallus winning it in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. All right. Message sent. Message delivered. Gallus, this is what I was waiting for. And now you're seeing what I've seen all along from the ICW days, from NXT UK. Now you're seeing the full potential of Gallus, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, and they just took Analfi and Blade and just straight up whooped them. Like I said, message sent, message delivered in my eyes. Showcase fight more than anything else. 1.25 I'll give it. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I wanted to address this. Despite some recent hype between them, Malik Blade and Idris Anafi, they got squashed. And this might have been I think this might have been a better spot for a lesser tag team. But clearly, Gallus is a major priority for NXT going forward, as they should be. Their first title defense will be against Pretty Deadly, and the hype is rising for this contest. The two teams are among the best in NXT, coming in hot from NXT UK. Two Mystery Men arrived with an anniversary cake for Gallus. They explained afterward that it was the 2-year anniversary of losing to Pretty Deadly. Message sent. Inafi took out Wolfgang outside and then hit Coffey with a diving elbow in the ring. And after Gallus wiped out two guys who were delivering a cake on behalf of Pretty Deadly, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince smacked them with steel chairs and threw them into the steel steps outside. Stand and Deliver. We're looking at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Tag Team Championship. And I'm going to go on the record right here and right now, MF. Them four boys are going to steal the dang show in crypto. So I can't wait for it. This is the most excited I've been for a tag team title match in a long time. And get ready, folks. You're going to be in for something really special come Stand and Deliver or whenever they decide to do it. But my money's on Stand and Deliver. That's the big money show. So there isn't much more for me to say on this. It's a 1-1. It's a 1-1.5 for this one as well. But Michael Bullock, look what we got possibly on the horizon. Gallus pretty deadly, possibly for the tag team titles, maybe at Stand and Deliver. That's just how that's what I think is going to happen. And if so, Joe Steeler.
Yeah, that could definitely be a show stealer. 1-1.25. I agree. I mean, it was fine. Nothing really all that special, but yeah, pretty deadly. And Gallus, that could be a show stealer at Stand and Deliver whenever this match becomes official. So we'll wait and see. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and with that said, we're just gonna move right on in. Next up that we did have was Tony D'Angelo versus Von Wagner, and it was Tony D winning the match in 4 minutes and 1 second. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, this was almost embarrassing. Von Wagner got thrown around by Tony D'Angelo and barely got in any offense. While this story with Robert Stone continues to stall, Wagner's losing all credibility. Something needs to change, and fast. D'Angelo seems to be building himself back up, but he lost a lot of steam even before his injury. He and Channing Stacks Lorenzo need more help, or the Don needs to pick up some memorable wins. Right now, his odds against Dijak are not looking good. The Don antagonized Wagner until he accepted a match despite Stone's insistence he not fight. The Don planted Wagner with a spinebuster with ease, but something good did come out of this. D'Angelo challenged Dijak to a jailhouse street fight at Roadblock. That's the only reason we're even talking about this thing in the first place. It's because of that. The match was nothing. I'm sorry. It was nothing. Not really worth talking about, but the post-match, that's what saved this. Jailhouse street fight? Let's just say it's going to be Big Boss Man and Mountie a la SummerSlam 91, only with no rules this time. Because you remember, when the Big Boss Man and the Mountie had their infamous jailhouse match at SummerSlam 91, Madison Square Garden, my all-time personal favorite SummerSlam, mind you, there were rules. It was not a no holds barred, no rules or anything like that. But this,
yeah, it was a standard. It was a standard one-on-one WWF traditional match. Yeah,
exactly. But this time around, there's going to be no rules. This is going to be a fight. There's going to be a street fight, a jailhouse street fight. Now, my question is, they call it a jailhouse street fight. Obviously, it's a street fight. We know that, and that's more than fine at the Roadblock on March 7th on the USA Network. But is it the same stakes as Boss Man and Mountie? Loser spends a night in maybe some jail in the Orlando area? I shudder to think.
I don't know. Or is it that a jailhouse street fight with basically all the weapons that you would see in a jail? Do they set it up have a jail like setting with the nightsticks, with the ball and chain, with all that stuff? Is that part of the street fight elements?
Well, we'll find out. And that's actually left me intrigued for this match. The match we saw here, I'm sorry, it was a dud. It was the worst fight of the night. No value whatsoever. Not worth talking about, but the post match, that's definitely worth talking about. Jailhouse street fight. Okay, I'm intrigued. I want to see what this is, and I can't wait to see what this is. So, obviously, it's going to be a street fight. We know that. But, I mean, we need a little more information about it. So, but I'm intrigued. So dud for the match, but Michael Bullock, how about it? Tony D'Angelo, Dijak, Jailhouse Street Fight, March 7th at the Roadblock special on the USA Network. We know it's a street fight, but the question is, will it be the same stakes as the Boss Man Mountie infamous jailhouse match at SummerSlam 91?
Well, we'll definitely wait and see with that to see if it's the same. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this was a dud. I mean, this was one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night, because this was just not worthy of talking about it. So I'm not going to waste any more time on this. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, total agreement with everything you guys have just said. So there's really nothing more to add here. So with that said, we do indeed move on. And believe it or not, we are now at the point of the main event of the evening, as it was. Well, actually, no. Straight. Hold. We had Alba Fire versus Ivy Nile. Alba Fire winning the match in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Another short match. Another kind of whatever we can say about that. Now we're into the main event. It was Braun Breaker versus Jinder Mahal for the NXT title. Winner of the bout, 10 minutes and 51 seconds. Braun Breaker winning the match, successfully defending the championship, and lo and behold, at the end, chilling up on the crow's nest, was the one and only Carmelo Hayes, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony, Michael Bullock, you lead off on the main event of the evening. Braun Breaker successfully defending the title.
2.5 to 3 for when it comes to this main event. I mean, the outcome to me was never in doubt. I mean, Braun Breaker did his best, but I mean, let's face it. Did you ever think that he was going to lose this title to Jinder Mahal?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But like you said, Carmelo Hayes showed up, and the only thing now is, Fletch, it's not a matter of if the match will become official. It's a matter of when will the match become official at Stand and Deliver, because it's only a matter of time before they make this one official. And so, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, second best fight of the night, 3 stars, solid main event. Nothing that really would have made us say anything. Like, Braun was good. Jinder Mahal, yeah, he did all right. I'm not gonna slap him around and poo poo all over it. It was still good. It was fine. I enjoyed it. Solid main event. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 for this. Despite NXT putting some decent hype behind this 1 week build, the match was merely okay. It ended faster than expected and lacked drama. Even the finish felt sudden, which did not make the modern day Maharaja look strong in defeat. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes should be NXT's easiest layup. Instead, the brand keeps putting roadblocks in the way of them fighting. At this point, almost everything else pointing towards Stand and Deliver on April 1 has more hype. It is time to deliver the expected build and give the talent the space to sell a great title bout. In a pre-match promo, Mahal explained that he chose to fight Breaker now because he felt he was vulnerable around this time. The Creed brothers brawl with Indusher, sending both to the back, and the champion went for a bulldog but ran into the boot of Mahal. Luckily, Breaker escaped the grip of the challenger as he went for the collas. Like I said, 2.5 to 3. We knew. I mean, I told you this was not going to be anything special.
Yeah.
And should I or any of us be surprised that it was nothing special? No.
No.
Because we knew. I knew it wasn't going to be. None of us did. But thankfully, it's done. It's over. Let's move on, and let's move on to what has the potential to be one of the best NXT Championship matches in some time. Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Stand and Deliver. But I'm sure they're probably going to do something with one or both of them at Roadblock. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But 2.5 to 3. Did Bullet go or
Bullock led off.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. All right.
Yeah, Bullock led off.
Overall.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. I'm not even gonna waste any more time with this. So 5 out of 10. It was a 50-50 show. Way too many short matches. Way too many things there. The only good match was the first fight of the night. That was the only saving grace, more than anything else. Storylines were okay. I'm not gonna slam that, but the matches themselves were very disappointing. So that's the only downside I got. Florio, it's yours.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. It's a 5 out of 10 for me as well. The opener was far and away the fight of the night. The main event, the opener with Dragunov and Trick, that was the fight of the night here. After that, the next best fight was probably the we only had like 3 solid to good matches. All the other stuff was the typical short match NXT BS that we have to deal with each and every week, which is why this is my least favorite of the shows that we talk about. But, it is what it is. So there was some solid build to Roadblock and Stand and Deliver. I'll give it that. Dragunov and Trick, fight of the night. Second best, I probably would have to say Chase U and the Dyad, and then the third best was probably the main event. But everything else was, whatever. So 5 out of 10, 50-50 show, like MF said. Bullet, quick thought from you, and then we move on to the penultimate AEW Dynamite before Revolution.
I'm sorry, guys, but I think you overscored this. This to me was a 4.5 out of 10. I mean, this was just another typical BS edition of NXT. But then again, what else would you expect? I mean, you get some good matches at the start and at the end. I mean, yeah, you did have one in the middle, but everything else was just short and just complete and utter BS. I mean, and I'm saying this right now. This is the least favorite show of mine because, and this is coming from Mr. NXT here. I mean, this is not the same NXT that I was so used to seeing. I mean, we used to get like banger matches on NXT, and now we get more short matches than good matches. I mean, when are these bleeping people over in NXT? When are they going to wake up and give us something that's going to make us want to watch it? Because right now, I just don't feel like watching it because this is the same typical.
Let's not forget Roadblock.
But the thing is, Florio, and I'm going to make a point here. Do you really think anybody's going to care about watching Roadblock? Or heck, even Stand and Deliver if NXT is going to continue to deliver BS shows week after week after week.
Hell no.
Now wait a minute. Time. I gotta play devil's advocate here. Remember NXT even before when it was the Black and Gold brand, when it was the Glory Days. We had subpar NXT episodes, and then Roadblock, Stand and Deliver, any other premium special events, and they blew the roof off the goddamn place. So I get where you're coming from, Michael Bullock, because you're absolutely right. This is the same.
I'm just so frustrated with this because you really think I'm gonna care about any of those other specials if they're gonna continue to deliver this kind of garbage that we see? I'm not gonna freaking care about it. I'm sorry. That's just how I personally feel.
And you got every right to that opinion, and I totally agree with you there. But I'm also gonna call you out on this because of the fact that we've seen this script before. We've seen NXT not do great, and even the days when they had Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, the best of the NXT. You remember there was some weeks where NXT was just straight up hot garbage. But when it came to the big events, the takeovers, they blew the roof off those shows. That was even better than anything WWE did. Better than what AEW was producing at the time. So Noah, you're absolutely right. I mean, and you got every right to be pissed off right about now because, like you said, NXT has been hot garbage. But I'm also going to play devil's advocate here and say, whoa, easy, bro, because of the fact that maybe they do shock us when it comes to Roadblock or Stand and Deliver. Because there was a couple of years where NXT was better than WrestleMania. So I get where you're coming from, but don't totally write NXT off just yet.
I mean, this is just frustration coming out of me. I mean, I'm just so getting to the point. Like, I'm like, why am I even wasting my time watching this?
Mm.
Why?
Yep. No, you're right.
I'm right there with
You're
you.
right. You're right.
All right. Well, now let's move on to something good, and that is AEW Dynamite.
I don't know about that. I think I'm gonna have a few choice words with them after what I saw here
boy.
tonight. I'm just saying.
I'm firing the alarm right now. So folks, be prepared for a little something from going from good old MF here when it comes to AEW Dynamite.
You're
So,
getting the Cerebral Viper side of them.
So,
that's why I'm sending out the warning right now.
all right. So let's start off with the really, really good. Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy wins the match. 17 minutes, 28 seconds. Fight of the night, hands down. I'm not even arguing this. This was literally 3.5 to 4. This was amazing, to say the very least. The body of work was excellent. The way that it was laid out was excellent. This was an incredible opening fight. This is similar to on par with what NXT did with Dragunov match. This was their best fight of the evening. They started it off with a banger. I loved it. I enjoyed it. There's really nothing for me to say. Florio, it's yours.
Agreed. Fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars is my rating for this. Orange Cassidy has turned banger matches into a routine over the last year, establishing himself as one of the most consistently great workers on the AEW roster. Love or hate the comedy element of his character, there is no denying what he has been able to accomplish against opponents of varying styles and backgrounds. It was more of the same at the top of tonight's show, as he and former best friends teammate Wheeler Yuta tore the house down in this All-Atlantic Championship bout. Cassidy proved he could hang with a technically sound wrestler, countering and reversing everything the Ring of Honor Pure Champion threw at him. The action intensified, becoming more physical until the two spit in each other's faces, ahead of a climactic finish that saw Cassidy deliver an orange punch to a knelt Yuta for the win. As big a takeaway as the quality of the bout was, the appearance of Claudio Castagnoli as a pissed-off mentor was equally as significant. First, he slapped Wheeler Yuta to fire him up. Then he called the unsuccessful challenger out of the ring, ruining a sign of respect hug. Could there be trouble in the Blackpool Combat Club? We saw Yuta booed out of the building at one point, and Castagnoli looked to be anything but pleased by the loss. Might the faction be on its way to a heel turn? Where do I start with this? Cassidy matched Yuta pin for pin early on before standing tall to the delight of the fans. Castagnoli appeared at ringside and slapped Yuta, awakening in him a dangerous, more aggressive competitor who turned the tide in his favor. Yuta threw the champ over the timekeeper's table and turned the table over on him as the fans erupted into a chorus of boos. Cassidy put his hands in his pockets, absorbed everything Yuta threw at him, then answered with his trademark mocking kicks. Yuta and Cassidy utilized their signature moves against each other, putting over the familiarity that exists between them. Yuta countered a beach break into a pile driver for 2. Cassidy kicked out of the seatbelt combination and rocked Yuta with an orange punch. And then after the match, Castagnoli demanded Yuta get out of the ring, abandoning a hug from Cassidy. 4 to 4.25 stars. Fantastic match. Easily the fight of the night here. No question about it. One of the best All-Atlantic Championship matches that we've seen in the short history of that title. So maybe Orange's best All-Atlantic title defense to date. So not much more for me to add on this. Michael Bullock, hands down, fight of the night. As Orange Cassidy continues his reign as All-Atlantic Champion with a hard-fought victory over Wheeler Yuta, 17-28, I believe MF said. So 4.25, easily fight of the night.
4 stars for me. This was definitely the fight of the night. I mean, say what you want about the character of Orange Cassidy, but this guy, I mean, he can hang in there with the best, and Wheeler Yuta is definitely one of them. But yeah, I definitely could see some trouble brewing in the Blackpool Combat Club, especially after what we saw with how Claudio Castagnoli was disappointed in Wheeler Yuta's performance, because he was expecting more out of him. But I could see a heel turn maybe from one of them, but we'll wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Next up we had was Big Bill and Lee Moriarty versus The Acclaim. The Acclaim wins the match in 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Florio, it's yours.
A Rampage type match, if I'm being honest with you. I thought I was watching a Rampage match, not a Dynamite match. This match is not even worthy of Dynamite status. This is something that more belongs at the worst, at the best on an AEW Rampage on a Friday night or whenever they do it. The match was solid, but the feud between the Acclaimed and the Guns is not clicking, has not, and the babyfaces losing the titles 2 weeks ago, in my opinion, feels like a massive creative misstep. And then, all right, let's see. Okay. You know how Max Caster does those little raps before, when the Acclaim come out, it would make JR go, listen. I always gets a laugh out of me whenever I hear JR say that. But, all right. And Max Caster made a reference to Big Bill's past, claiming his fiance called him SAWFT. Oh, because we all know Big Bill was previously Big Cass in WWE, where he teamed with the polarizing Enzo Amore. And the Guns appeared on the ramp, but were not able to adversely affect the outcome of the match. It's a 2.5 stars for the match. But there's definitely more to this tag team situation than meets the eye, because we had a battle royal that we're going to get into in a little bit to determine the third of the 4 teams, because it's a 4-way match. We got the Guns, the champions, the former champions, the Acclaimed, invoking their rematch clause, and the first of 2 tag team battle royales, or a tag team battle royale tonight, and then next week on the Go Home show, a casino battle royale, tag team styles. So we'll see. 2.5 stars. Michael Bullock, honestly, Max Caster's rap there, I think, was a little more entertaining than the match itself, especially going after Big Bill with the SAWFT, one of our old favorites, one of our old running gags from our Raw chats a number of years ago.
Oh, I got a laugh out of that one when Max Caster did that, and yeah, his rap was more entertaining than the match itself, because it had the feeling of an AEW Rampage, that this kind of match should be on Rampage, not Dynamite. So 2.5 stars. So not much to add here. It's your Fletch.
Yeah, it's about 2. I mean, it was fine for what it was worth. Yeah, like I said, it was all right. It was a fine match. It was more of a showcase fight for the Acclaim as they're heading to try to get back the AEW World Tag Team titles. So nothing more to say. Next up we had was Saraya going up against Sky Blue. Saraya wins the match in 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Bullock, it's yours.
The outcome to me was never in doubt with this one, but obviously, I mean, Saraya basically had no problem with Sky Blue, and just when it looked like she was about to brand an L on Sky Blue, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter put a stop to it, and then you got Ruby Soho coming out. So some very interesting things developing out of this. So I'll give this about 1.5 for the effort. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, 1.5. There's really not much for me to say. This match didn't really do anything for either of us. I mean, yes, it's a nice win for Saraya. It gives her a little bit of some momentum, because now she's going to be in a triple threat for the AEW Women's World title. It's Saraya, Ruby Soho, and Jamie Hayter. That is going to happen at Revolution. But when it comes to like threading the needle or making making the needle rise or anything like that, it did nothing for me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. So there's really nothing more to add. Florio, it's yours.
1.5 to 2. Again, I say this is a match that I think would have been better suited for Rampage than Dynamite, honestly. But it was a solid effort from Sky Blue, who has been steadily improving with every passing match. Saraya was fine and is clearly getting back into the swing of things, but Blue looked like the equal to the more celebrated in-ring competitor, and that bodes well for her future. And, well, we have a development here. Revolution. Jamie Hayter is going to defend the AEW Women's Championship in a 3-way match against not just Saraya, but Ruby Soho as well. And you saw it. There were questions about Soho's motivations, and it feels like the right call and creates intrigue beyond the Women's Championship. Blue broke out the Black Widow in a great spot that earned some oohs and ahs, and Hayter appeared to be taken aback by Ruby Soho expressing a desire to win the title, but she welcomed it. So there you go, guys. Jamie Hayter, Ruby Soho, Saraya, 3-way match, Revolution, AEW Women's Championship on the line. My gut says Hayter probably retains, but you never know. But anywho, 1.5 to 2 for this effort. So how about that development, guys? 3-way dance with Hayter, Saraya, and Soho. Women's title, Revolution. Let's go. So that could be a sleeper fight of the night. That's got potential to be a sleeper fight of the night. So watch out. Beyond the 2 big main events, that is. Beyond the double main event, the Iron Man match and the Texas Death match. So
yeah.
So that could be a sleeper fight right there. You never know. So 1.5 to 2 for the effort. I believe Bullock started this. So
yep, he did.
So okay. So MF, move on.
Yeah. So obviously we had a big promo by MJF and Bryan Danielson. We're gonna leave it at that. Then we had the tag team. This was that tag team battle royale that Anthony was alluding to, where the winner gets to advance to the Fatal 4-Way at Revolution. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 17 minutes and 4 seconds was Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. They won the match. They won the whole battle royale. All right. I get it. I understand it. And I truly believe that, all right, if with all the teams that were in this battle royale, maybe this makes the most logical sense. And I get that. Why the fuck was FTR not in this battle royale? Well, now I'm gonna reframe. If they're gonna be in the Casino Battle Royale next week, maybe they're the Jokers. But why were they not in this? As a matter of fact, where the hell was the Young Bucks? Why are they not in this battle royale either? I mean, you're talking for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and this was the best you got? I mean, scraping the bottom of the freaking barrel? I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a fine match. And the winners probably wasn't in doubt. And don't even get me started with the Satnam Singh and all that overbooked bullshit we saw at the end. Because that's another rant in itself. But 3.5 stars. Second best fight of the night. And as you can tell, this is starting the, let's just say, the turn for me, where my patience started to grow a little thin with AEW. Florio, I'll leave it at that as I give it to you.
What did you give it?
3.5.
Yeah, that's about right. The talent involved was immense, but there was not much of a story to this one until the closing moments, when Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Bullock's boy, Sanjay Dutt, really shined. And why Tony Khan has decided this.
Oh, yeah, right, Florio. Don't get me started with that, because I'm with Fletch. Especially with this whole thing, I'm ready to go off, too.
Our new lame duck man, as we all know. Mr. Sanjay Dutt, Mr. Personality himself. Why Tony Khan has decided this particular faction needs as much television time as it has received of late is a question only he can answer. But Jarrett works well in a tag team setting at this point, and Jay Lethal is at least reliable between the ropes. Jarrett and Lethal joined the Acclaimed and the Guns in the aforementioned four-way tag team title bout at Revolution. And if that trio of teams does not have you excited about the title match, well, yeah, nothing will. Mark Briscoe arrived and went right after Smart Mark Sterling at ringside. Ray Phoenix executed a tightrope walk on the top rope, kicking Roosh to the floor. Danhausen cursed Menard and Parker, and Best Friends paid it off. A standoff pitting the baby faces Dante Martin, Ray Phoenix, and Trent Beretta against the heels Jeff Jarrett, Butcher, and Jay Lethal occurred entering the break. Excalibur announced Aussie Open versus the Young Bucks Friday night on Rampage. That's a Dynamite match? Hello? Aussie Open and the Young Bucks on Rampage? That's a Dynamite match. Come on, somebody. Sheesh. Anywho.
Butcher gosh. Yeah, just after that, that's another reason why I feel like I need to call out Tony Khan.
Yeah. And the Butcher shoulder block Phoenix through the rope, showing off his power. Satnam Singh assisted Jarrett and Lethal, preventing their elimination. Orange Cassidy appeared, saving Trent Beretta from elimination. And Singh again saved Jarrett, who delivered the stroke and eliminated Trent Beretta for the win. I'll give it 3.5 for the effort, even though, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people are not going to like the outcome of this. And yes, MF is absolutely right. Where was FTR? Where were the Young Bucks? But I got a feeling, MF, you made the point for me. I think we're going to see I wouldn't be surprised if we see FTR in that casino battle royale next week. Maybe they're the Jokers. You never know. So we'll have to wait and find out. And I 100% agree. They have been criminally underutilized. And if AEW keeps going down that road with FTR, FTR is going to say, screw you guys. We're going back to WWE, and we're going to go and we're going to leave our and we're going to let Papa H handle our creative affairs. So there isn't much more for me to say on this. You may not like the outcome, but, you know, battle royals are always tricky to rate. But I'll give MF the benefit of the doubt. I'll give it 3.5 for that effort. And so we're just going to have to wait and see on that. So not much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, unfortunately, the new lame duck man, Mr. Sanjay Dutt, and the big man, Satnam Singh. Unfortunately, they were all over this win. They literally handed this win to Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And a lot of us are not happy about it. And I know you're not happy about it because we all know ever since Sanjay Dutt inherited the lame duck role from Sami Zayn, who is now Daniel Bryan 2.0 in WWE. I mean, the second coming of Daniel Bryan in WWE, I should say. Sanjay Dutt has literally earned his new status as the new lame duck man, replacing Sami.
And he is so annoying too. I mean, sometimes I feel like I just want to. I wish I could take a shot at this guy because he just finds a way to get on my damn nerve every time. That's what he does. And then don't get me started with Satnam Singh because this guy can't even wrestle for shit. That's what I'm saying right now. And for him to get involved in this it's criminal. It's criminal. That's all I'll say on that. 3.5 stars, but Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, really? Is that the best you could do? I mean, yeah. Where's FTR in this one? Where are the Young Bucks? I mean, they're worthy of being in this, and I'll tell you this right now: if FTR is not in that casino battle royale, I'm really gonna go off the deep end, big time, because FTR is being criminally underused, and they're gonna get to the point they're gonna be like, screw you guys, and we want to go back to WWE where Papa H is going to take care of us. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say on this. I mean, and I'm just getting started with this. And I'm with you, Fletch. I feel like I'm ready to go off the deep end too. So it's yours. Oh, and we lost MF there.
Yeah, we did. I'm sure it might have been the wrong button, which has been known to happen. I mean, you're guilty of that a few times. So.
And yeah, I've done that too. And I'll even say this when we get to our overall review, I am going to call out Tony Khan. And you know what? I don't care if the quote unquote AEW fanboys or Tony Khan defenders want to come after me. I'm going to call this guy out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and if people are going to say, "Oh, you're a WWE drone," yep, there he is.
We got MF back in, so votes all sent MF. So let's move on to whatever needs to be addressed next.
Yeah. So after that, well, all right. So let's get into this. So Tony Khan makes his big announcement. And actually doesn't do the announcement unless Adam Cole makes the announcement. And it's a new weekly episodic episode or a weekly show that's going to be on TBS immediately following AEW Dynamite. That's going to be called AEW All Access. And then the other big announcement is that Adam Cole was going to return to the ring for that particular show. That on that Dynamite he makes his in-ring return. Okay. Let me preface this very carefully because this will be open formed. I'm happy that we're going to get Adam Cole back in the ring. I think we all are excited for Adam Cole to be in the ring, to be competing again in AEW. I think there's no problem with that. But for Tony Khan making a big announcement that, and this was hyped as a major announcement, AEW All Access is the best you got? Are you kidding me? I thought we were going to hear that you were going to bring Ring of Honor television to TBS or to TNT, or that you struck a deal with that. Or maybe Forbidden Door number 2 was going to open up. Or maybe, just maybe, that you were able to do the unthinkable and sign Jay White to AEW. Because those were the rumors we were hearing the whole week. That all these AEW marks were all hyped about. AEW All Access? That's the big announcement? I want to say a few words that would get me in trouble right now. That actually might even be up to the point of offensive. But I won't. Because I'm not like that. But I don't want to hear all this stuff about this big announcement and the hypocrisy that we hear from Tony Khan, who, oh, by the way, decided to lash out at Ariel Lawani because he was working with WWE. You saw all that stuff on social media, what he said. And then this is the announcement you're going to give us here tonight? You hyped up a huge announcement, something big coming to AEW. And it's another boring ass waste of space of television that ain't gonna do shit in the ratings. That's your big announcement. I mean, we know how bad Rampage is. Dynamite hasn't made 1 million viewers in the last 2 months. I mean, last week was their lowest rated at 870,000. So, let me just say this. I think AEW did not do themselves any favors with this. Now, there's people who's like, "Oh, this is a great concept. This is a great thing. This is going to be this is going to be good." It ain't going to do no more than 500,000 views. Maybe even less than that. Do you honestly think anybody's going to wait 1 extra hour after 10 o'clock to watch an all-access show about the life or the journey of certain AEW stars? I mean, God forbid you hear their lives spread all over the freaking internet, for heaven's sake. Nah, man. Swing and a fucking miss. That's all I'm going to say about it. Anybody who wants to jump in on it, go ahead. Be my fucking guest.
That's what that is. That's cheap garbage. I mean, I don't give two damns about it. Gives a rat's about it. I don't. Yeah, I mean, was the announcement? Or hell no. And they posted on Twitter, but lumping Adam Cole's in for next week, that was a nice. But there are some who are defending it, but we can't defend it. I hear some people saying it should come across great, gets people to see talent in a light that don't have it. I mean, I could understand perspective, but not Ralphie used his Little Orphan Annie decoder ring to reveal a crummy commercial as a major announcement been more under. Tony Khan's announcement, not by the president of the company, but by Adam Cole, is the debut of AEW All Access beginning in March. Yes, it will give fans a test, and while that sounds, its debut was hardly a major announcement label given to it. Adam Cole did announce that his in-ring return would take place the night of the first episode, but he did not. I'm with MF. Me, I don't give a damn about the All Access. The only thing I give a damn about is I want to see action. That's what I want to see. That's what MF wants to see. We don't want to see. We don't give two flying you know what's about any of that behind the scenes other stuff. So if you're gonna have a major announcement, it should have been something. I mean, don't forget they're supposed to go to the UK sometime. You very easily could have given us details about that. MF said possibly Forbidden Door 2. I don't know, but for it to be the announcement of a behind the scenes show that, quite frankly, I'm not gonna watch. MF's not gonna watch. Probably Bullock won't either.
Oh, I won't watch it.
No, absolutely not. You give us garbage like this, we're gonna treat you like garbage right back. You want to punch us in the mouth, we're gonna punch you back in. So that's all there is to it. And by the way, when we punch you in the mouth, we're gonna do it harder and better because we do it better. So that's all there is to say on that. So as far as that, I mean, am I excited about Adam Cole coming back? Hell yeah. Adam Cole is awesome. He is. And we're all happy about that. I mean,
he's one of the faces of AEW. He's one of the faces of AEW.
Yeah, just like he was when he was the longest NXT champion of all time, 403
Agreed.
days. I mean, and a man who has given us so many memorable matches in his throughout his decorated career. We thought his career was over, and he's coming back. Yes, we are excited about that. Abso-freaking-lutely. I can't wait to see him back with the whole baby and boom and all that. But as far as this announcement goes, it's not only a swing and a miss, it's a muffed punt. That's what it is. It's when you muff an easy punt. That's what it is. I mean,
it's a fumble.
Yeah, dipsy-doo, botcheroo, fumbleroo, what have you. That's exactly what it was. I mean, it's like when a punter shanks it. It's like a shanked punt. That's what this is. You really think anybody's going to give it flying F's about this? Hell no. I'm not. MF's not. Bullet's not. If any of you want to do that, be our guest. No. Punt. Yes. This announcement? Hell no. Done. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. Bullock, unleash hell.
Really, AEW? I mean, Tony Khan, this was your major announcement. I mean, I'm happy about Adam Cole coming back, but I was expecting maybe more details about about going to the UK, or maybe an announcement of Forbidden Door 2, which I definitely would have loved, but you give us this? No, it was a fucking swing and a miss. I mean, and this is the same fucking Tony Khan who called out Ariel Helwani for being on WWE television. I'll tell you this right now, Ariel Helwani right now looks like he's he made the best move by covering WWE right now, because I mean, imagine if he was covering AEW right now, he probably, especially after this announcement, Ariel Helwani is probably laughing his ass off right now, saying, "Who's the doofus now, bitch?" And to all the AEW fanboys, all the people who are continuing to defend Tony Khan, how in the world can you defend this? This was supposed to be a big announcement, and this is what we get. If you try to defend this, you don't know jack shit about wrestling. And if you want to say, "Oh, you're an e-drone, you're a dick rider or a WWE mark," the thing is, the three of us here, we're professional wrestling marks. We want to see pro wrestling at its absolute finest. So I'm not going to name names, because I already know some of them who will probably call me out, but you know what? Who cares? You cannot and absolutely not defend this. So to all the AEW fanboys, including one that I know, go screw yourselves. And Tony Khan, you can go screw yourself too, you asshole. I'm done. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and then to lead off, and then to get into the main event of the evening, which was Jon Moxley versus Evil Uno. Moxley wins the match, 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend. So you lead off on this.
Jon Moxley brutalized Evil Uno for his 100th win in AEW. The former world champion becomes the first to accomplish that feat, choking Uno out. His refusal to release the hold brought Silver out, followed by Claudio Castagnoli, but it was Hangman to the rescue with barbed wire. He pummeled Moxley, busting him over as excess and too much of something being a bad in the case with the blood on AEW television. By no means, we reviewers, by no means are any of us, folks, fashion brawl. Extent that Moxley is doing, it stops having the desired effect and instead becomes the punchline of a weekly joke. Him bleeding and the close-up of the audience had of him as the show faded to black completely overshadowed what he did to Evil Uno and how badly the Masked Man of Dark Order had been beaten down by the uncaring former world champ. It negated the effect of what Moxley did to his opponent, instead turning attention to him and his bloody face for what felt like the umpteenth time this year. It's not effective anymore, and it does not make a match any more anticipated because we know we are destined to see Moxley bleed at some point. The Page save and beatdown were good, and the pay-per-view match will be fun, but the show really needs to back off of the blood and let it mean more when it does happen. And you notice Moxley tore at Uno's face, a heel that allowed him to seize control. The former world champion brutalized Uno, bloodying him underneath the mask. And Uno fought back and delivered consecutive pile drivers, but Moxley recovered and applied the rear naked choke, then transitioned into the Bulldog choke. 2.5 for this effort. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Moxley, and another week, John Moxley bleeding like a stuffed pig. What else is new? So, but the Texas Death Match at Revolution, we know that's got show stealer potential.
Oh yeah, this has definitely got show stealing potential. So, yeah, 2.5 stars. So, yeah, you pretty much covered everything. So I'm just gonna give it to you, Fletch.
Yeah, 2.5. It was fine for what it was worth. Obviously, I'm a little annoyed about the blood. I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the blood. I'm sick of all that crap. But there's really nothing for me to say. So yeah, it's all set. It's done. Bullock, it's yours. Overall review.
Yeah, this to me was an average. I don't know about you, but it felt more like an AEW Rampage show. That's what it felt like for me. So I'm actually going to give this 5.5 because, I mean, you had a good opening match. That was the fight of the night, and you had some other good ones, but the questionable booking decisions was just really irking me. And then the to top it off, and the cherry on top, the so-called big announcement was an all-access show. I mean, get the you-know-what out with that shit. So, again, all you AEW marks want to come at me and say, Tony Khan he wants to do something different. But we're professional wrestling fans. We want to see professional wrestling. Not this crap. So, yeah. To all you marks, go screw yourselves again. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was one of the. This was probably one of the worst AEW shows we've had in a while. I'll go with the 7. I'll go with the 5 out of 10. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 5.5. I 100% agree with the rating. That opener was far and away the fight of the night. All the other matches were, they were just there. So I'll go as far as to say this was the worst Dynamite of 2023, and I'm hopeful that next week they'll redeem themselves, and they damn sure better redeem themselves because, next week, the go-home show, Revolution, you damn well better wake up. That's all I say on that, because if you don't, we're going to come after you again. So
yep.
You thought tonight was bad? Ho. Wait till you see what we'll have in store for you next week if you give us garbage like this again. So that's it. So it's a 5.5.
I'll tell you this right now. If next week's show is like what we saw tonight, I'm getting my my Undertaker shovel and I'm burying Tony Khan's ass 6 feet under.
Yeah, and make some room for 97 Bret Hart. That's it. So, period, end of sentence, end of quotation, end of statement, blah, blah, what have you. So, MF, let's move on to something. Let's move on to a much lighter note, which is even though we don't have really much on the docket, I mean, TXN Sports World, I mean, is there anything that's worth getting into or what?
Well, other than the All-Star game and the All-Star Saturday night, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know what to say. I don't know what you what
Well,
what.
I actually do have some things that we can talk about.
Okay.
New head coaches in the NFL, new head coaches in Arizona and Indianapolis. We'll address that.
All right.
Last Saturday, they actually did a preview of the NCAA tournament, and
Oh yeah, the first look at the brackets.
that's going to be the main event. And
All right.
and also, why not get into some XFL? Why not? I mean, XFL looked halfway decent. So what we'll do is we'll lead off with the All-Star Saturday night and NBA All-Star game recaps. Which and when it comes to the All-Star game, let's just say Michael Bullock is grinning like a Cheshire cat right about now after an epic performance from one of his own. So that's all I can say on that. So we'll get into that. We'll get into those two new coaching moves. We'll also get into the XFL. We'll recap week 1 and then we'll get into week number 2. We'll do some previews of XFL and then in the main event last Saturday, big special on CBS. The projected brackets. I've got them, and you're not going to believe who's projected as the number 1 overall seed as of right now. This is an absolute shocker. You're not going to believe who the projected number 1 is. Keep in mind, that's the key word, projected. So 10:30 is it tomorrow, I'm sure?
Yep, 10:30 as always. So yeah.
10:30, TXN Sports World, and MF hitting with the rest of the future content.
Yeah, then Friday night we do another edition of Friday night. We do it's gonna be Cerebral Smack Talk, and we're gonna be setting it up. We got SmackDown, we got NXT Rampage, and then our official preview of RWA Renegade Rumble that is going down on Sunday. We will be there, and then Monday we do it all over again with Ridiculously Raw. So for all of us here, for Michael Bullock, for Anthony Floyo, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now.
Rants, you are the best fans in the world.